My name is Joe. These are just opinions. I am Joe Opinionated. Today on Joe Opinionated, we're going to go with the 10 best albums from The Cure. Cure just released a new album this 2024, and I'm also in a Discord with the Taste Like Music community. Check it out. Joe and Jason are great hosts in there. And there's lots of music people ranking music and, mostly on Rate Your Music, arguing about why their favorite's the best and all that sort of stuff. One of the artists that we've done a deep dive on recently in that community is The Cure. I was always kind of curious and wanted to do a Cure deep dive. And what I ended up doing on the weekend, Cure deep dive all in one day. So I listened to all their records in one day. I hope you're not offended. I know there's a lot of huge super fans of The Cure out there. 1978, after a few different members came and left, basically they formed The Cure. Robert Smith and Michael Dempsey. Robert Smith is the lead singer, kind of the main force behind The Cure. Lol Tolhurst, Port Thompson, Matthew Hartley, Simon Gallup, Phil Thornley, Boris Williams, Roger O'Donnell, Jason Cooper. I mean, the list goes on. It's kind of gothic rock, new wave, pop rock, post-punk. Because I listened from start to finish, there's ebbs and flows to this career. And this is not my favorite genre of music. There's a good chance I wasn't going to like it as much as everybody else out there, but honestly, these are my thoughts. The ratings are a little bit lower than some people are used to. The way I rate my music is I rate each song and then I do an average of that. If the album was cohesive, great album, I usually add 0.25 stars. If it wasn't that great, then I usually take away 0.25 stars. Okay. If there's skits or something like that, I usually skip those and don't count those in the overall. Okay. Number 10 for albums, Cure albums from 1984. I'm going with The Top. The album's kind of up and down a little bit. Overall, I have most songs ranked around 3 stars. I gave the album 3.25 stars overall. 1984, they're coming out of it a bit. I think their earliest albums tend to be their worst. This one was a bit of a step forward. Songs like The Caterpillar and Wailing Wall are highlights for me. Number nine from 1996, I'm going to Wild Mood Swings, and I've got that one ranked at 3.25 stars. Highlight for me was the closer, actually. Bear was probably my favorite track on the album, and that's the only 4-star song I had on the album. Towards the end of the album, I did definitely have a lot of 3.5-star songs. Treasure, Trap, those ones. The album ended well. I thought it was great. I thought it was a bit of a step back from their previous album, though. Number 8, and I think this album was well revered, I think. The album from the year 2000, it's Bloodflowers. The album ranked at 3.25 stars. A little bit, like I said, it got a little bit better than the previous album. I got it ranked 1 above. The album had a strong start. Out of This World I quite liked, and Watching Me Fall. Watching Me Fall was actually my favorite song on the album. It gets a little boring for me as the album goes on. And that's, overall that's sort of my critique of The Cure, is it gets a little boring for me sometimes. Number seven, going with kind of like I think this is probably considered sort of their breakthrough album from 1982, Pornography. 3.5 stars for this album. And it's a consistent album. I think that this is really the first few albums were just painful for me. The drum machine or just, lack of drums really bothered me in the first few albums. I just couldn't get over it. And like I said, they hold the world record for the latest. Robert Smith does not start singing till, bare minimum a minute 50 into each song. It's very rare that they don't follow that formula. And then usually it's just some super bleak, dark, I hate my life. They write infectious pop songs as well that are kind of scattered in there. And I love those. They don't do it consistently enough for me personally. Maybe if I grew up with these guys, it might be a little bit different. I'm not sure. But, some bands just don't hit hard for me, and The Cure is apparently one of them. But I do really, really like some of their albums coming up, and I do really, really like a lot of their songs. So some of their albums suck. Pornography, 3.5 stars. Favorite. I didn't have a single. I have almost 3.5 across the board on the entire album. So I don't really have. There's no real major standouts. the opener was great. The Hanging Garden, Strange Day, I like. No serious contenders for my favorite Cure song on this album. Up next, number 6. Number 6 is the follow-up to Pornography. I'm going with Japanese Whispers. Once again, when I was doing the deep dive, all the albums in a row, it was like, there's hope, okay, this is getting dramatically better, I thought in my mind at this point. A couple great songs on this album are Love Cats, which is the closer, and The Walk. I like the B-side more than the A-side, but overall, pretty good album. Once again, 3.5 stars. Yeah, 3.5 stars on that one as well. Number 5, I'm going with 1985's The Head on the Door. I've got that one at 3.75 stars. They have some singles on this one, in my mind. This is kind of a breakthrough as well, where, not only is this way more listenable and palatable than the earlier stuff, they've got some what I consider to be songs on this album. In Between Days, a great way to open up the album. Push is a great track. Close to Me, another great track. And those were, the 3 big standouts on this record for me. Once again, 3.75 stars. Number 4, 1987's Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. Holding steady at 3.75 stars. But this one has probably my second favorite Cure song. And I think that's pretty common among, not Cure fans. Favorite Cure songs, I totally respect the hell out of these guys. I just want people to know that. It just didn't connect with me the way it does apparently with some others, but this has Just Like Heaven on it. And another kind of favorite of mine too is the song Fight, which is the last song on the album. Number 3 is the next album, 1989. I've got Disintegration. Disintegration, 1989. I've got it at 3.75 stars out of 5. This album just opens up so strong. So my third favorite song is on this album as well, which is called Love Song. But we've also got Fascination Street, Pictures of You, Plain Song, great, probably make my top 20 list, all 4 of those tracks. I'm probably not going to do a top 10 Cure songs just because it's so lopsided for me for my favorites compared to the rest. It's just going to be, 3 or 4 at the top, and then the rest, it's, there's 50 songs tied for 4th or 5th. So I'm probably not going to do that out of respect for you, Cure fans. Number 2 for the top 10 Cure albums, I'm going with Wish from 1992. The song I was very familiar with growing up as a child is on this one, and it's actually still to this day my favorite Cure song, even after listening to the entire catalog. Friday I'm in Love is one of the best pop songs of the 90s, period. It's a great track. It's such a weird one because it seems so soft. I remember when I was a kid and I was, this is 92, and I remember having the countdown on Much Music in Canada. I still have it on a VHS taped for the 1992's greatest videos of the year, and this one was on it for sure. But I remember it just being such a soft sound compared to the stuff I was into at the time, like Guns N' Roses and Nirvana and, all that stuff. Probably the reason I never owned the album, even though I really liked this one song. But based off of that one song, I always wanted to do a deep dive on these guys because it's such a great song. There's got to be other stuff in there. I had just never heard it when I just dabbling here and there. I just wasn't, Just Like Heaven kind of stood out to me, but nothing else really. Friday I'm in Love as a 5-star song. Also on this album, the Open and High, the first 2 songs have as 4 stars. Wendy Time, 4 stars. A Letter to Elise, 4 stars. To Wish Impossible Things, 4 stars. So I've got a lot of songs ranked high. It's 4 stars, close to 4.25 for the album. Wish, number 2. And number 1, not the most popular opinion with the Cure faithful, I'm going with the new album, Songs of a Lost World. And I saw Joe in the Taste Like Music episode on The Cure talk about how this album is kind of like the greatest things that The Cure does, all kind of put into one, but maybe a little bit too clean, or it was something along those lines. For me, listening to all the albums in a row, this album was like a lifeline. It was like, oh man, one to go. It had been kind of horrible, or not. It had been not going too well with the later albums, for me anyways. I was really hoping for something. And I thought this album really delivers. I think this is like more what I thought The Cure were going to be for the entire discography. I thought it was going to be more like this, which is just a bunch of songs, not just like ambient noise, or it doesn't take 5 minutes to get into Robert singing on the tracks. It just jumps into it. This is The Cure. And so I quite like it. If I'm going to go out and buy one record today, I'm going to buy the new record. I actually think it's great. I could put it at 4 stars. It's also tied with Wish. And I've got a lot of 4-star songs on it. I like Alone. I like A Fragile Thing. I Can Never Say Goodbye is another good one. And End Song. Great song. End Song. That's it. But apparently they're releasing a few more albums in the coming years. Good for The Cure. I'm not really going to be that excited. But, hopefully I'll listen into the Discords and see, maybe it's more like this last album, and I can get stoked for that. So there it is. Deep dive on The Cure. Top 10 albums, according to me, as a fresh listen. I'll tell you my 15 to 11. I had 15, I had 3 Imaginary Boys. 14, I had 17 Seconds. Those are both. 13, I had Faith. Those 3 are all 2.75 stars. Sorry, Cure Hardcores. Number 12, I have Cure the Cure, 3 stars. And number 11, I have 413 Dream at 3 stars. I am certainly low on facts when it comes to The Cure. I'm sorry about that. A little high on opinions as well. Check out my channel. Lots of band rankings. I'm going to be doing the 1990s every year, 25 best albums, 25 best songs on this channel. Check it out below. And and also the Christmas movie marathon coming up here on American Thanksgiving. Sorry, I'm a little low on facts, high on opinions. Respect to The Cure. We out.
Submerged at sea.